I'm one of the few people that have had a crop circle appear in front of them, and it was the second biggest crop circle ever to have ever appeared. It was over 1,000 feet long. Just behind us is crop circle country. As we go to Michael's now, we're heading out into crop circle country. This is the boundary of where it all begins here. My name's Gary King. I started researching crop circles in 1997. I'm one of the few people that have had a crop circle appear in front of them. It was over 1,000 feet long, so 300 odd metres, 350 metres long, and 500 feet wide, consisting of 150 circles. There were 3 of us sitting on top of a hill, filming the field all night on light sensitive cameras. The cars went past at the end of the road, people coming into the car park down below were all filmed and easily visible. Any source of light was easily visible. No one went into that field during the night. It was accepted that there was no crop circle there at 11 p.m, and yet at 3:20 there it was. When you present somebody with the fact that you have 150 circles created in, let's say, 300 minutes. It was actually less than 300, but let's say 300 minutes. That's 1 circle every 2 minutes. And then you say, okay, some of those circles weren't circles, they were ovals on the ground because they traversed over uneven surfaces so that they would look circular from the air. It had been compensated. So I used to be a lawyer. If I had a client that confessed to a crime of making a crop circle and went to court and they said, right, well, he's confessed, Your Honour, so we're just going to convict him and send him to jail, and I stood up and said, oh well, I'm here dutifully bound to represent my client, who I have to tell you is suffering from some sort of mental illness, because we got a team of surveyors in and the surveyors said that they want 2 weeks to make it. So we've got a bunch of experts here who are expert at building buildings, making bridges and designing, who are telling us they're taking it 2 weeks, but my client's confessing to doing it in under 300 minutes, one every two minutes. And yet, this is where we are. When you present someone with that evidence, which has been presented now over the last 10 years since it happened to me, most people are happy to accept that some people can walk into a field in the dark and make one of those circles every 2 minutes.
Without leaving tracks. We've argued for a long time that you cannot make a circle without identifying its centre. You can't draw a circle without sticking the point of the compass in the paper. And yet we have formations which produce perfect circular discs with an unmarked centre.
You say, do we study this? So much comes up that you can study, and there's not enough, time for any one person to study all of the different things that come up that are surrounding the crop circles. For example, farming. Why farms? Why crops? Then you look into the history of this landscape and find out that Wiltshire was the first area in Britain where farming began. So it's come back to its origins. Then you say, well, why the stone circles? Why have we got this ancient mystery of the stone circles being identified by the crop circles because they punctuate them right next to these monuments all the time? Is there a context? Do we need to find out more about stone circles and what's going on with those to understand more about crop circles? Do you see what I mean? There are people that study from above how far apart various crop circles are and whether they're forming geometric patterns in the way that they're being placed in the landscape. Because none of this research is funded by universities or sponsors and so on, what tends to happen is that the people like myself tend to go down the road that you're most familiar with or you're most interested in for yourself to conduct research. And you study all of the stuff that you can get around that. But that doesn't anywhere cover the whole pie of what the crop circles are. It's just a little slice that's my slice, and Michael's got his slice and somebody else. And it's only by talking with other people and bringing things together that we start to connect dots and realise that this subject just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You want people really to keep an open mind for as long as they possibly can. They to observe themselves through the process of how they might find themselves wanting to latch onto a particular theory because it suits them and makes them feel comfortable. And so establishing that that doesn't mean it's the truth and that they have to still keep that to one side is one useful caveat, I would say, for researching this.